that they try to cut in front of us and spin that way, we spin this way, still know nothing, and they stop the boat and we try to go towards them and they try to move, and next thing you know, they pick up machine guns and start firing at us.
Really?
Cha-cha-cha, bullets fly by me and his head. You hear, right next to us.
Yeah.
Then we hit the deck and then water, right down the side of the boat. We're like from here to here, this boat, shooting at us.
And they rammed the boat too.
And then they rammed the front of our boat. If you go look at the anchor right there, the anchor's never been on the water, and look what that anchor looks like. They ran their boat right in the front of our boat, and they jumped on the boat. Get on the ground, everybody.
This is a good story. Just when the guys thought it was over, it kept on repeating itself over the next 10 hours, keeping them clenching the whole time. The complete story coming up next on Sailing into Freedom.
Okay, this boat that's coming in, it's got an interesting story. I'm going to hope to talk to a couple of the guys. Let's see what happened.
Hey, you get this rope for me?
Yep. Rob!
Yeah, Pirate Rob.
All right. You got a story to tell.
Yeah, man.
All right. Let's hear it.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a run. We just first off bringing the boat from Florida, trying to get it to Costa Rica.
The guys had already done 450 miles from Florida to Isla Mujeres, Mexico, then a leg of 250 miles to Roatan. The following story takes place on the third leg to San Andreas.
Obviously, a center console is not really built for that trip, but a trip of a lifetime. You can't say no, right? Got to go on it. But no, basically, once we got to Roatan, we started hearing all the stories about what's going to happen maybe when we get to Honduras. You know, no one really knows. Everybody has their own idea.
Getting around the hump.
Yeah, around the point right there of the end of Honduras and then the northern part of Nicaragua.
So what Rob is talking about is their third leg of their journey will be going through known pirate areas shaded here, with the worst area being here.
You know, so everybody's got their own idea. You hear all this different stuff talking the docks, and
like 250 a gallon.
Okay, and we heard you know, someone got boarded 2 weeks before we showed up in Honduras. Machetes, knives, no guns. We just took some computers' money and let them go on their way. So we were kind of prepared for it.
Was that a sailing boat?
Sailing boat, and that's the only thing we ever heard was sailing boats.
Yeah, they're soft targets.
Yeah, I heard they're autopilot at nighttime, sleeping, something, whatever the stories are.
Those pussy sailors.
Yeah, that's what they say.
You want to say that again?
We were just coming through. It was pretty nasty, the wind. So we kind of hugged the shoreline a little bit. We were just getting some fuel, refueling from the bag. We seen a ponga coming up pretty fast.
Did you pick it up on radar? Or?
No, it's hard to get them guys on radar, man. It's really hard.
Signature.
But it was, you know, we were really close to shore, so we could see very well. It wasn't big seas or nothing there. It was just choppy. You know, we seen one coming. We were fueling up, and it was coming in quick, you know, like gunning straight for us, and we didn't want to take any chances, so Cappy dumped the throttles, we took off.
Right. But how fast you reckon you were doing?
You know, we started, I think Cappy kept it at like 40, 45, but they were still, they jumped in our wake and was still gaining. So we knew it wasn't a ponga that was like a 40 horse kicker, 90 horse kicker. There had some juice behind it. So Cappy dumped it a little harder and we lost sight of them. So we get a couple miles up, we looked, it's clear. We're like, fuck, let's just fuel up and get the hell out of here and fill up. As we're fueling up, all of a sudden we notice off the starboard side, here comes another ponga, banging.
A different one?
Different one, coming for us.
Bigger?
But yeah, 27-foot twin 200, 2 strokes on the back, but coming. And we were in some snot, so they were coming pretty hot. And we didn't know if they were pirates or not, so we didn't, you know, we got on the radio. There's nobody answering the radio, nobody calling us on a fucking radio. So we're like, let's fucking go. So we start gunning it, we trying to pull the fuel pump off, all this. I'm pulling out the bag from the bladders, and Cappy guns it. They try to cut in front of us and spin that way, we spin this way, still know nothing, and they stop the boat and we try to go towards them and they try to move, and Next thing you know, they pick up machine guns and start firing at us.
Really?
Cha-cha-cha, bullets fly by me and his head. You hear, zoop, zoop, right next to us.
Yeah.
Then we hit the deck and then water, ba, 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 right down the side of the boat. Luckily it didn't hit the boat. Then we realized they were fucking Navy. And they thought we were drug traffickers, so they were just as scared as we were. They didn't know what the fuck was going on. They're looking at this boat, coming at them.
But how would you know they were Navy? They didn't look like Navy?
Well, once they got close enough, and you could see the little yellow on their fucking jackets.
They could be faked.
Exactly, we had no idea.
And they're not on the radio, right?
No radio. They had no radio on their boat. They said none of their boats have radios.
Keep going.
We couldn't because they were they were about to shoot the whole boat up. They were like from here to here, this boat, shooting at us.
And they rammed the boat too.
And then they rammed the front of our boat. If you go look at the anchor right there, the anchor's never been in the water, and look what that anchor looks like. They ran their boat right in the front of our boat.
And there's a big rub mark on the other side.
Yeah, and they jumped on the boat. Get on the ground, everybody, you know.
And so let's say for the next, when they stopped you and then they jumped on, for the next 30 seconds, you were on the deck and you had guns at you.
Yeah, there's guns. It was mayhem. They were just as, you know, they were just as crazy as we were. We thought they were someone crazy. They thought we were someone crazy.
So after 2 minutes, you're still on the deck. They still got guns.
Yeah, they still got.
And you speak Spanish?
Yeah, we all speak Spanish. By at this point, they just made us all step to the back of the boat. You know, we were all standing up and everything was tense, but they just made us stand at the back of the boat, and they wanted to see paperwork right away and Zarpes, and Captain kept it calm and was just like, look, we got all the paperwork, we have everything. There's nothing illegal on this boat. You can search anything and everything you want. Please just put your guns down. That's all we want you to do. They put the guns down, but they weren't taking their fingers off the triggers. They were still amped up. The captain of their boat was riled up for a little bit, you know. But once he started... How
many were there?
There was it 5 or 4 of them, Jonathan? Was it 5 or 4 on the boat? 4. It was 4. And yeah, once, you know, things started to calm down a little bit after about 3 or 4 minutes, you know, once we could like get some paperwork, and they're on the phone call. I think they were calling Roatan Capitania to see if we actually checked out, and they were saying yes. I could hear them saying, yeah, the gringos checked out in a big boat, nice boat. I heard the other guy going, okay, we have them with us right now. So things started to calm down, but you know, they still needed to search everything and know what's going on and all that, and it took about 1.5 hours. And what we found out was that first boat that we outran was actually the Navy. And that's why they were a little amped up, because we already fucking lost them. They could do nothing about it, and they don't have no radios. So when these guys seen us fueling up, that was their chance.
Did you think that was the end when they
first were shooting? Yeah, that was definitely, we didn't know what was going on.
Because they'd want your boat, wouldn't they?
Yeah, that's, you know, that's what we were thinking. We were thinking, you know, at one point I was just like, fuck, like when they started pulling around the side before we really realized, I was just like, we're fucked. Like, we're so fucked. I even said it. I was like, we're so fucked right now. If these guys want to hold us for money, like, you don't know what's going to happen. You're in a different country. You have no idea what's going to happen. It turned out to be really nice, actually. They're just doing their job.
Yeah, you got a job to do.
They got a job to do, and that's what they were doing. You got a speeding boat
going away.
Yeah,
I mean, what are you going to think?
We're running towards them.
But you never think that, do you? You think pirate, because all the stories.
All the stories.
And they're a poor country. How are they going to maintain a navy to defend that huge coastline?
Dude, huge.
How can they do that?
Huge.
And they've just had a hurricane 2 years ago. All of their facilities, utilities are down.
Dude, just looking at it, so what we figured out they were doing, because we couldn't figure out as we were coming up the coast, and now we know they don't have radios. We'd see motorcycles ripping as fast as they could that way. So they were using motorcycles to communicate to the next boat that we were coming. Okay. I mean, that's what we think, because that's what it definitely looked like once we put it all together.
Okay.
Once we got out of Honduras, the whole thing was to get out of Honduras as fast as we could, get in Nicaragua's water, but still get as far off the coast as we could. And then we did that, and you also hear the stories of the islands right there with the pirates, so we had to go through there. So Cappy and us decided, you know, turn off all the fucking lights. We had some good moon for a little while. I think that might have been how they seen us. But once that moon went down, set it, and we were cruising a little bit. Cappy took a nap. He'd been driving for 30 hours, something like that, 24, whatever it was. Jonathan took the back, I took the forward, and I'd say probably an hour into it, we started seeing a little flashlight look at us and then disappear in the waves. And it was far away. And then all of a sudden be a little closer and watch it for a good 45 minutes. The next thing you know, it was right off the back. It was, fuck, not even, I don't know, 70 yards, 60 yards to when we started making a move. Like, Captain, get up, push the throttles, get the lights ready, get
This is
everything
definitely.
ready.
Could you make out? Did you get the lights on it there, or no?
Nope.
You just seen the lights.
They didn't have no lights. It was
Right.
just, they only had a flashlight.
Yeah.
So they kept coming closer and closer, and then at the last second, we finally turned all the lights on, and I mean, they were from here to that boat away.
Yeah.
They were right there.
So 15 meters.
15 meters, and we just went towards them about 20 knots with a lot of water moving, and they kind of like didn't know what to do, and then we just turned the boat as hard as we can and trimmed the motor and just rocked the shit out of them. And circled around them and just rocked it, and they tried to scare them as much as we could. You know what I mean? We didn't want to hurt nobody, we didn't want to do anything like that. We just want to get the fuck away from there and get out of there, and that's what we did. Then we started cruising about 18, 20 knots, a little faster, and I looked back and they're in our wake, and they were coming and they were coming, and then they just turned away.
Clearly, the fact that they could go pretty fast really saved these guys. Now, I'm not saying that there's a real big piracy issue. I think people like to over-dramatise things. Oh, there's pirates here, pirates behind that tree. And it's not so much pirates as their occupation. They're just opportunistic fishermen that are really down on the luck. I mean, Nicaragua and Honduras, this area here, has been hit by hurricane after hurricane, wiped out. Then they had COVID where they couldn't go out to fish. I mean, they've had a real run, and the fishing stocks are dropping. So when they see soft targets come past, I mean, they've got to feed their kids and their families. I mean, you can understand. I'm not condoning it, but you can understand it. But they're not all bad. I mean, you'll hear in a bit, they're not all bad, but they, you know, every barrel is going to have its bad apples. And see, even this barrel, people, this sailing barrel has its bad apples. Well, I'm a work in progress. I wouldn't say I'm bad. Anyway, so what could you do? Well, bar having, you know, 450 horsepower motors on the back of your yacht, because this is mainly a sailing channel, so I'm putting in the context of sailing, I would certainly, at the very least, go in Roslyn Channel. In fact, when I came from Guatemala down to Panama, I did Roslyn Channel, had everything off, and there was no dramas. When I went from Cartagena up to Caymans, I really went east. I went out Barrio Nuevo way, and I mean, we were so far out. I mean, we were like 290 nautical miles off the coast of Nicaragua. So I think the best thing is just to avoid the problem in the first place.
Then we pulled actually into the islands, and then that's when we started seeing ponga, mothership. But everybody was mellow. We didn't have any other problems. The mothership and all the people in their hammocks shined the light at us and gave a little high five, like, hey guys, and we just continued on. And then that was it. Okay. And that's all it was, but all right, who knows? Who really knows, right?
Yeah. Well, Rob, that's an excellent story.
Right on.
Safe travels to Cologne, buddy.
And after about an hour and a half, everything was really cool. They were actually really nice. We hooked them up with some, you know, monsters and some drinks and stuff, and they took some photos with us, which actually helped us along the way, because we got stopped 2 more times on the way, and as long as we showed that photo, they just let us go. But the first encounter was quite crazy, because they don't know what's going on. They don't have no radios. So they have no idea, you know. If they just had a fucking handheld radio, all of them, a lot of this would have been avoided. But, you know, poor country, I get it, you know. We're traveling through a poor country, and that's just...
Well, you got your adventure.
Yeah, we got the adventure.
Because I actually asked the guys, I said, well, because they're taking this boat eventually to Costa Rica, the Pacific side, for sports fishing. And I thought, well, can't they deliver it there? And what did you say?
Hey, it's a trip of a lifetime. How are you going to say no? You're going to do it once, I bet, in your lifetime, so just run with it.
Yeah, well, you had a bit of an adventure.
Cappy had a vision. Cappy put it together. He said, yeah, this is the trip of a lifetime. Who's in? We signed up. We said, let's go. So we know what we signed up for.
So, well, how fast can you go, Captain? Like if you're going full throttle on nice flat ocean, how fast?
Like 85.
So you're saying 85 knots or mile per hour?
Mile per hour.
All right, so 78 knots.
Yeah.
Wow. And how much fuel are you guzzling at doing that speed?
Like 0.45. So like 80 gallons an hour, 85 gallons an hour.
85 gallons an hour. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Definitely the nicest place we pulled up into fuel, these prices. Where $2.50 a gallon, Belize was like $8.
Yeah.
Don't go to Belize, people.
Yeah,
it's a complete waste.
Yeah, we
complete waste.
We pulled into Belize because once we pulled out to get out there, once we got in that Yucatan current and seeing how much it was chewing up our fuel, because we were just gonna run straight, it was chewing it up like 35% faster.
Because that's a 5-knot current.
Exactly,
Times, yeah.
And everything's straight at you, right? So we made the call. Cappy's like, we're gonna pull into Belize, but you know, we weren't czar paid for Belize. We met a little German pirate kid who's been sailing back and forth from Belize into Isla Mujeres, and they had property and all that stuff there. So he made a call. We snuck in, pulled up to a dock like this, stayed the night, got the hell out of there. But we realized very quick that's not a place to go hang out. Might as well just leave Belize the fuck alone. Yeah, everybody's shady trying to do something. At least that was our experience.
Especially a nice boat like this.
Yes, and it attracted everybody in the island to come to the boat. So it was, you know what I mean? It was nerve-wracking. It was hard to sleep. I went to check on the boat fucking 30 times a night probably.
I would have slept on it.
You know, we had a security out there, but I still went. You know, but
tell them that takeaway. We would go to Jamaica too.
Yeah, if we were gonna do this again, we would just go straight to Jamaica, run the other way, Bahamas, Jamaica, and then all the way down to Panama
but
with
no
everything
adventure,
following.
guys.
It wouldn't be a no adventure. It wouldn't be nothing like this.